ambiguous yet characterized by its adherence to a specific set of beliefs. Ang kapangyarihan ng relihiyon ay nakatago sa kakayahan nito to bring people together, to persuade and usher the people into a new perspective, a new life. Pero alam mo bang nakapagdudulot din ng relihiyon ng gulo at ng mga unwanted events?
We begin with Nigeria, where a woman has been beaten to death and set on fire on college premises. She was a student in this college. Her killers were her own classmates. What was her crime? Blasphemy.
Muslims and Hindus violently clashing on the streets of the capital, Delhi, during a month meant to be holy for both groups.
Drag artist Puraluka Vega is facing new criminal charges for allegedly offending religious feelings.
Ethnic clashes between the Hindu majority Metis community and the tribal Christian Kuki minority over land and influence in the state has left at least 180 people dead and over 500 injured.
Maraming bagay ang hindi alam ng mga taong bayan tungkol sa relihiyon. We are here to change that.
Mr. Condom, alam mo ba siya? Dito sa bansa nating dominated by the Catholic Church, most probably hindi. Mechai Viravaidya or Mr. Condom was a former politician and activist in Thailand. Thailand's successful population control was spearheaded by Mechai and earned him the name Mr. Condom. Back in the 1960s, na-realize niya that Thailand's rapid population growth was pushing families into poverty. Since 1974, Mechai has initiated groundbreaking HIV and AIDS prevention activities throughout Southeast Asia, community-based family planning services, and innovative poverty reduction and rural education programs, bukod pa sa iba niyang nagawa. Dahil sa condoms, and with his own considerable charisma, Mechai normalized discussions about sexual health and family planning, bringing humor to it, and taking out the embarrassment when talking about safe sex. Nainganyo niya mga local taxi drivers, shopkeepers, and hairdressers to sell contraceptives. He created Miss Condom pageants and organized condom blowing competitions in schools, kahit saan naging accessible sa mga tao ang condoms and contraceptives. Dahil sa kanyang initiatives, the average number of children per family declined from 7 to 1.5 between 1974 and 2015, and from 3.3% to barely 0.4%, the population growth rate decreased. A reason why kaya naging effective si Mechai kasi also doubled in religion. This is where it gets interesting. Why not get to religion? Because in the Philippines, the Catholic Church was pretty strong and Thai people were Buddhist. In Thailand, we're Buddhist. We don't have a God, so instead, we say in rubber we trust. Kasama sa kanyang initiatives was to ask the Buddhist monk of the religion to sprinkle holy water on pills and condoms for the sanctity of the family. And this particular picture of Mechai with the monks was sent throughout the country. So some of the monks in other villages were doing the same thing themselves. Nag-circulate yung practice among other monks. Tapos, yung mga babae sa bansa nila, according kay Mechai, were saying na, no wonder we have no side effects. It's been blessed. Nagkaroon ng ganong perspective, nagkaroon ng ganong influence ang religion. Nawala rin yung stigma against condom kasi it was further endorsed and approved by the monks. The most common Buddhist view on birth control is that contraceptives like condoms is more acceptable. The basic principles of Buddhism do not forbid contraception, and it's moral if it's done to improve the quality of life or to avoid financial burden, since reproductive choice is viewed as a personal matter. Opposed lang sila sa birth control through abortion. Abortion is strictly forbidden in Buddhism and is considered equivalent to killing inhuman beings. Sounds familiar? Ganun din ang paniniwala ng Catholic Church, di ba? Na ang abortion daw is equivalent to killing a human or is equivalent to murder. Pero bakit sa other forms of contraceptives, nagkaroon ng differences sa approach? Controversially, naging primary opponent pa ang Catholic Church sa Pilipinas for the passage of Reproductive Health Bill. Now, law na siya, stating that no person shall be denied information and access to family planning services, whether natural or artificial. Similar to Mechai's initiatives, the Philippines, a predominantly religious and conservative country, where nearly 80% of Filipinos identify as Roman Catholic. The Church still holds a great deal of power and influence. Sa pagpasa ng Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012, the Roman Catholic Church and its followers in the Philippines are divided on the issue of sexual and reproductive health and rights. The Church had fought for 13 years to prevent the Reproductive Health Law from being passed. Sinasabi ng simbahan na ang RH law ay anti-life at anti-family, and that it will lead to increase in teenage promiscuity and abortion rates. What was behind this way of thinking ng mga Katoliko? According to the Church teachings and Pope St. Paul VI encyclical Humanae Vitae, contraceptives are wrong because they forbid procreation, turn sex to non-marital act, and damage the institutions of marriage. Meron ding Bible passages that express God's disapproval of birth control which are frequently cited. God told His people to be fruitful and multiply. Humayo kayo at magpakarami, ika nga. At ang paggamit ng any type of contraception is thought to be physically contradict this command. Members of Catholic Church believe that abstinence and celibacy is a solution to the increasing population and reproductive health issues. Since dapat nga rin naman daw, through marriage ka lang allowed to have sex, procreate and raise a family. Let's remember our history. Similarly, si Thomas Malthus then, an economist and demographer, had the same stance. He wrote an essay on the principle of population early in the 19th century, with his population growth theory that also advocated for abstinence. In it, he claimed na ang problema ng lipunan sa kahirapan, gutom as well as diseases ay dahil sa overpopulation. As a solution, he urged moral restraint, which means the delay of marriage and abstinence. Why? Kasi in order to curb the population growth, we must curb first yung human reproduction, di ba? Besides being an economist, he was also known to be a member of the clergy. Bilang isang cleric, pinangunahan pa rin siya ng conservative side niya, kahit na concerned din siya with the economy and the proper allocation of resources in regards to the population. That's why, para sa kanya, the only acceptable way to curb the human reproduction was through abstinence. As the Church maintained its stance against the RH law, the majority ng Filipino Catholics are faced with the dilemma of either susundin ang Church authority rules or susundin ang kanilang konsensya. Despite their deep regard for the leaders of their church or concerns about disobeying teachings of God, they must deal with the harsh realities of paternal morality, population growth, and poverty. There's still a stigma about condoms sa Pilipinas, even though condoms are available in health facilities and convenience stores. People tend not to buy or ask for them. Meron pa ring ashamed, meron pa ring nahihiya. Meron din na tabong discussing sex education, and not everyone can get to know it. Some are still uneducated. There may be a progress, pero it's really slow. And it really is a long journey path towards progressive reproductive health. Religion as an integrative morality system shows that this is a great presentation of how religion influences our control on sexual urges. It's a powerful technology kasi through religion, you can dictate how people will approach their sexuality. Yung approach na ginamit ni Mechai was in line with the cultural norms and was supported by Buddhist monks. Buddhism can encourage having diverse views and beliefs and emphasizes the importance of personal matters and choices. Kaya, if it's a person's choice to use contraceptives to avoid financial burdens, encourage yun sa kanila for the betterment ng country nila. On the other hand, our religion here was used about to prevent people from using contraceptives. Religion is used to keep sexual urges intact to avoid hedonism and keep the person from being carried away with the appetites and pleasures. The Roman Catholic Church, traditionally conservative stance on matters of reproduction, heavily influences attitudes toward population control, as evidenced by opposition encountered by the RH law, showcasing how church doctrine on contraception shapes opinion and decisions in this realm. Isipin mong 13 years nilang napigilan ang pagpasa ng batas, and that's solely because of their influence on the majority. Kahit na stated sa 1987 Constitution ng bansa na ang separation of church and state is inviolable, kaso some members of the state can be influenced still kasi they themselves are part of the Catholic Church and you have to adhere if you are devout one, di ba? While Catholicism is governed by church doctrine and authority, which means they tend to be less adaptable to changes in progressive society, like the challenges in passing the RH law. Government policy are sometimes greatly influenced in the teachings of the church. Bakit ba tayo na lang ang bansa na aside sa Vatican City where divorce is not allowed, same-sex marriage and abortion ban pa rin, di ba? Unlike in Thailand, they tend to be liberal about reproductive health and policies. As much as Buddhism also highly praises the Moses to practice sexual restraint, they are also often to believe that birth control is moral if it's done to improve the children's quality of life and education, or to avoid burdens. For them, it may be moral if prior to sexual intercourse, one takes anti-pregnancy pills or installs anti-pregnancy devices. What does this say about religion? Having these two contrasting approaches, Mr. Condom's initiatives and Catholic Church stance on contraceptives, religion as social force, proves to be a powerful technology in regulating people's sexual behaviors and impulses.